story of how Brown has been bold in the past, I would have to say was the 1968 walkout.
I guess I got to make very clear too. I was part of the walkout in '68, but most of us walked out because we all felt that the university seemed to be making very tenuous our presence.
In 1968, 5 black women walked off this campus demanding a black theater, which became Rights and Reason, and since then became Africana Studies, or the Latin American Studies Department, the Sarah Doyle Women's Center, the TWC, the Center for Race and Ethnicity. So all of these programs that cherish diversity came through political struggle that happened by students on campus.
Fast forward to the day. We fought, always fought to say this should not just be African Americans at Brown. It should be Asian Americans at Brown. It should be Latino Americans at Brown. And this whole thing should be expanded so that Brown starts to look more like the outside world.
This Alumni of Color campaign recognizes that Brown is a vastly different institution today than it was a generation ago. It is just so much more multicultural, so much more diverse.
It's not just color, it's also economic background, gender background, sexual orientation background, youth versus age.
Within that overall goal of broad diversity, we remain committed to redressing historical patterns of exclusion.
We bring to the curriculum things that are normally left out of the curriculum. And therefore what that allows for is a set of conversations that need to happen between different cultures, between different human beings.
Africana Studies does almost a heretical classical education in the sense that they provide you with all of the historic texts, whether it's John Locke or Adam Smith, and simultaneously the critiques of those texts. So when you go into other disciplines that perhaps are less apt to challenge the dominant norms, you find that you have something interesting and unique to contribute that perhaps raises discussion and a dialogue.
Brown and Africana Studies really gave me the space to be able to say, that studying my own identity is really valid, and studying the things that make me the person that I am are also very valid in terms of an academic knowledge.
So this kind of endowment isn't just about ideas, even though that's what it's primarily about, but it is about ideas as a form of self-transformation. This is a really wonderfully targeted way to be sure that there's both intellectual expansion and that young people have real support networks for grappling with the reality of their experiences.
First of all, I think the center has become an important place for students of color because they feel on this campus, aside from the Third World Center, for example, that there is an academic place that they can go to where they're not viewed as a minority group and where they feel pride and commitment to the things that they're interested in.
The students seeing professors that talk like them, look like them, or if they don't look like them or talk like them, have at least had some kind of the sort of life experiences that they've had is incredibly important.
To get this history, to collect it, and to tell it is a way of sharing a part of myself. And when I do that with students whose histories also involve immigration, I share something with them that's very special.
When I would speak to these braceros, they were telling me a part of my history here in the United States because I'm Mexican American.
Brown recognizes that America is a multiracial, diverse society that reflects the world, that the world has come to the U.S., and that it is our obligation to reflect the world.
For me, the Third World Center is like my home away from home. Dinke is the Third World Center for me. She would greet me with a huge smile and a huge hug, and it just made me feel so warm.
TWTP has been a poster child for the Third World Center and Brown.
TWTP was the program that empowered me to find my place at Brown. I came to Brown feeling very insecure based on my background. But now, I'm the president of my class, and I write for the Triple Helix, and I do all of these great things that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have that support system.
An endowment like that would be amazing. It means financial stability for the TWT program. It means that we don't have to worry about how many students we have or things to buy, that It will always continue, and it will always be open to everyone.
Really can't play down the importance of the need blind, the decision to go need blind, and how that shapes the community. And those scholarship funds certainly help us continue to do that.
When I got accepted into Brown, I was very worried about how am I going to pay for it.
You know, we come from a lower middle class immigrant family.
It was very, very hard for me to let that go just because of money.
That scholarship, that financial support has enabled my family to send me to Brown in the first place.
I didn't have the financial capability to pay for my entire education, but I had a large collection of books and I have a lifetime supply of dreams.
It was something like a dream, but until we saw the financial aid package, we were like, it's actually true. It's gonna be, it's real.
We need to raise $7.5 million a year of new financial aid contributions. We could do that through increased giving via the annual fund to financial aid.
Give to the annual fund because it's what supports the institution. It makes a huge difference for the institution every year.
Participation in this campaign is key.
I think the main thing that makes this initiative different from other fundraising that I've participated at the university is that it's asked for our input. It's asked for my input in terms of where the money is going to go. This is a real sea change. We've got a group that is absolutely behind making this an institutional fund that is going to be supported over the long haul.
It is about the future. It's about foundations being laid for students who see the differences that they get every day, just in terms of this campaign, but also recognizing that those things come from the generosity of alumni, and that they too are going to be part of that community who need to give back to the students who come after them.
Brown transformed my life, and I would like to give back to Brown and the community, and to make Brown more available to others in the community.
You can invest in students, in human beings, and actually see the return on investment as they contribute to society.
And no one should think that their gift is too small.